Okay, let's talk about that voice on the other end of the line. More and more, it isn't a person at all. It's a super advanced AI. And as this tech gets smarter and smarter, it's raising a huge, and I mean huge, question for anyone in customer service.
I bet you've thought about this one. Maybe it even keeps you up at night. Is the whole point of all this automation to eventually make the human agent, well, obsolete? It's a massive concern, whether you're running the company or you're the one actually answering the phones.
But here's the thing. The people actually building this technology, their answer is a really clear, simple no. But, and this is the important part, that no isn't the end of the story. It's actually the beginning of a way more interesting one. So if AI isn't here to take over, what is it here for? Let's dive in.
Okay, so the first thing we have to do is stop thinking about this like it's some kind of boxing match, AI versus humans. The real breakthrough, the real aha moment, happens when you start to see their unique, totally separate strengths. It's not about who's better, it's about what each of them does best.
Think of voice AI like it's the ultimate specialist. Seriously, it's not designed to be a jack of all trades. It's a workhorse, built to just power through all those high-volume, repetitive, and totally predictable tasks that can grind a human team to a complete halt.
So what kind of stuff are we really talking about? Well, it's things like answering the same frequently asked questions over and over again, grabbing basic caller info, booking appointments, or routing calls to the right team. Look, these jobs are absolutely essential, but they don't need a human's creative spark, right? They need speed and consistency, and in that arena, AI is just unbeatable.
And this really lays it all out, doesn't it? On one side, you've got AI's superpowers, just raw speed, perfect accuracy, and it's on the clock 24/7. But on the other side, you've got the stuff that makes us human, emotional intelligence, complex problem solving, and that ability to build a real connection. They're not just different skill sets. They're like the perfect puzzle pieces for each other.
Let's really zero in on what AI is great at. We're talking instantaneous responses, no waiting. If you have a sudden rush of calls, it can handle thousands of them without breaking a sweat. It's there on holidays, weekends, 3 in the morning, and it captures data perfectly every single time. It is the perfect first line of defense.
But then you have the human element. And this is where you see what can never, ever be automated. Humans can hear the frustration in someone's voice, even when they say they're fine. We can untangle some bizarre, multi-step problem that has never happened before. We build trust. We de-escalate a tense situation with real empathy. These are the moments that matter, where human judgment is absolutely everything.
So you've got these two very distinct, very powerful sets of skills. What happens when you stop seeing them as separate and you actually start weaving them together? Well, that's where the magic really happens. That is the hybrid advantage.
For the customer, the whole experience just transforms. If you have a simple question like, hey, what are your store hours? Boom, you get an instant answer from the AI. But if you've got a complicated, frustrating problem, you're seamlessly passed to a human who can actually solve it. No more endless hold music. And think about the human agents. For them, this is a total game changer. Instead of that soul-crushing boredom of answering the same 5 questions all day long, they're freed up to focus on the challenging, meaningful conversations where their skills actually make a difference. This isn't just about being efficient, it's about job satisfaction. It's about feeling valued.
This hybrid model pretty much gets rid of that thing we all hate, waiting on hold. With AI handling calls 24/7 and taking all the overflow during busy times, every single customer gets an immediate response. That means way less frustration, fewer people hanging up, and a much, much better first impression.
And the results for the business? They're undeniable. We're talking higher customer satisfaction, for sure, but also increased sales conversions because every lead gets an instant follow-up. You have virtually 0 missed calls, and you can manage your team so much smarter. It's that rare win-win. You make things more efficient, and you make the service better at the exact same time.
All right, so the theory sounds great, but what does this actually look like in the real world? Let's walk through a few scenarios to see this powerful model in action, out in the wild. So picture a sales team. A potential customer calls in. The AI instantly picks up and starts gathering key details. Name, what they're looking for, how urgent it is. In seconds, it qualifies the lead and sends it to the perfect sales agent. That agent then calls back, already armed with all the info, ready to have a real, high-value conversation and close that deal.
Okay, now let's think about customer support. The AI can handle that first wave of common questions, Where's my order? What's your return policy? But the second it detects a really complex problem, or even just frustration in the caller's voice, it intelligently escalates the call to a human. And here's the crucial part. It passes along all the context, so the customer never ever has to say, "Oh, I just explained all of this to the robot."
This model is incredibly powerful in places like healthcare. The AI can manage the whole logistical headache of scheduling appointments, handling rescheduling, sending reminders. This frees up the human staff to focus on what really truly matters, handling sensitive patient questions, dealing with complex cases, and managing urgent medical situations that absolutely require a human touch.
And what about when your office is closed? Well, the AI becomes your 24/7 front desk. It's working overnight, on weekends, answering every single call and capturing every single lead. It can even flag something as urgent for immediate attention. Your team walks in the next morning, and instead of a pile of voicemails, they have a perfectly organized to-do list. No more missed opportunities.
When you see these scenarios play out, it just becomes crystal clear, right? This hybrid model isn't some sci-fi fantasy. It is rapidly becoming the new gold standard for how modern, effective businesses communicate with their customers.
And this big shift is happening for a reason. Customer expectations are sky high. Call volumes are exploding, and finding and keeping good staff is a constant struggle. At the exact same time, AI technology is finally mature enough to be a reliable partner. And let's be honest, who here misses those old press 1 for sales, press 2 for support systems? Yeah, nobody. Which brings us right back to the main point of this whole explainer. Voice AI is not replacing humans. It's a force multiplier. It's the tool that takes care of the grunt work so that people can focus on their absolute best work, the work that needs empathy, creativity, and a genuine human connection.
So the real question isn't, is AI coming for our jobs? The question is, how can we get our teams ready to thrive right alongside it? Because this collaborative future, it isn't way off on the horizon. It's already here. The only question left is your team ready for it?